Welcome to the Carnivore Cast, a podcast focused on the carnivore diet and lifestyle, with practical advice from successful carnivores, citizen scientists, and top researchers. I'm your host, Scott Myslinski, and I'm here to speak with experts and experienced carnivores to get answers to your biggest and meatiest questions while helping you live your best life as a carnivore. If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the Carnivore Cast on Patreon. By becoming a patron, you'll help us reach more people and continue to create content on carnivore. There are also exclusive perks available, such as private Q&As, consultations with me, and more. Become a supporter at patreon.com/carnivorecast. Check the episode description for the link. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Cristy Code Red Nickel, author of The Code Red Revolution, is a speaker, #2 ranked boxer, retired, celebrity nutritionist, award-winning personal trainer, and elite level athlete. She created a nutrition program that enables people to lose 10% of their body weight per month without shakes, diet pills, diet foods, or exercise. She's helped policemen, firemen, EMS workers, as well as children and thousands of others lose weight and change their lives. And she lives in Boise, Idaho, which I think is so awesome, with her husband, her dog, she has a passion for running, mountain biking, snowboarding, yoga, and nutrition. That's a lot. Very cool. Welcome to the show, Cristy.
Thank you. You always make me sound so cool when I hear my my intro. You know, have you been to Boise, Scott?
No, I haven't. So my parents went there for the solar eclipse.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
And they raved about it. So I've always wanted to go, and it seems like it's just like the perfect place for all things outdoors.
Well, we don't like to say it because we're full. Us Idaho natives, we're full. Don't come here. You can come
it's
and
horrible.
Spend your money and visit.
You'd hate it.
Yeah, you'd hate it. You don't want it, but it is freaking awesome. Let me tell you.
That's cool. Great. Well, I'd love to start with just digging a bit more into your background for the audience. Tell us about just personally your diet and health history, and maybe we can go from there.
Yeah, so I was raised poor on a farm on a ranch farm in northern Idaho. My dad was a minister and our local pastor. We just didn't have any money. And so when I graduated high school, I desperately wanted to travel. I wanted to go to college, and I didn't have any money. I mean, nobody in my family was helping us out with anything. We were so broke. I mean, I've been working since I was 9 years old. I bought my first horse at the age of 9, making $50 monthly payments to my neighbor. And so I've never had help with anything. So when I wanted to go to college, I wanted to go to nursing school. And at the time I was living in Memphis, I had moved all over the place. And so I started fighting as a way to pay my way through nursing school. Yes, actually boxing at 154 pounds, federally licensed, sanctioned professional boxing. And I had no intention to become a professional fighter. I didn't know anything about fighting. I'd never been in a fight. I didn't care, but I was dead broke. And I was waiting tables and bartending and trying to put myself through school. And so, a local boxing coach saw me at a boxing class. I was just taking a boxing class as something fun. And he said, you have a propensity for boxing. And I was like, whatever, pal, I'm in nursing school. And he said, you can earn money. So I started my first fight earning $500 a fight. And then I just was knocking out my opponents, knocking them out. And in boxing, sex sells in boxing just like it does anything else. So if you're pretty and you can fight and you can sell tickets, you get more fight opportunities. So my fight career was great. Like, I wasn't the greatest fighter. I mean, I was ranked in the top 3 of the most dangerous females in the world, but I put on a good show. But then I started to get fat. And it was like 10 years ago, I started to get fat. And it was like, why am I getting fat? I'm an elite level athlete. I had just transitioned out of boxing into elite level cycling, where my husband and I were cycling on our road and mountain bikes all over the world, all through Europe, all through the United States, everywhere. But I am getting fatter. Like, my stomach hurts, my head hurts. And I was thinking, I was always raised to believe, like a lot of you guys, you just need to move more. You just need to move more. Well, I'm going to blow out a knee if I if I can move more, like this is not working. So I really took a step back and started taking a look at the low carb, high fat, low carb, kind of a Mark Hyman, lifestyle. And I'd never heard of anything like that before. I was just like, what? Like, what the heck? I thought that it didn't matter what I ate because I was training 3 to 5 hours a day. But I felt like crap. I had IBS. My gut would hang down. It would hit my knee when I would ride my bike. But I was the fittest I'd ever been. I was so strong on a bike. I still could fight. I could still box. And so I started to try this out. Like I started to reduce my carbs down to, I think I started off, Scott, like under 100 grams a day or something. Like it was still way too many. But when you go from eating, like homemade pasta and M&Ms from that big Costco bag that we all know, come on, we all know what I'm talking about. And you drop it down to under 100 grams a day, you're going to lose a little bit of weight. You're going to start feeling better. So I started to feel better. And I was like, wait a minute, this completely, like it makes me rethink everything I ever was taught over the last 35 years. So I started the Code Red lifestyle because when I actually when I lost 20 pounds, which I know is maybe not a lot for some people, but it was a lot for me. And I realized how good I felt. I was like, the world needs to hear this message of hope and healing without shakes, pills, diet foods, or exercise. So I started the Code Red lifestyle. I was on Idaho State food stamps because I was still broke. Up until I was 40, I just always had money problems, And I went from being on Idaho State food stamps to a $10 million company in only just under 4 years. And now Code Red is absolutely exploding because it's really resonating with them, the message of hope and healing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And it's everywhere. It's clearly helping thousands of people. So that's really awesome. And I'm curious, how long was your boxing career? Like I don't even know how long boxing careers are.
Well, it was almost 8 years and I had 15 pro fights, 2 world titles. I had 5 knockouts. I'd never been knocked out or knocked down. I've had my ass whipped. Let me tell you, I've had my ass whooped in the ring, but I'd never been knocked down or knocked out. I've lost fights because every fighter, if you fight in other countries, you're going to lose fights because they're not going to bring you all the way to Costa Rica or all the way to Germany or all the way to China and then have you beat their hometown girl. That's just the shady part of boxing. And so you get paid really well, but you're probably going to lose that fight unless you have an absolute knockout. So it's a real rough way to make a living, but it brought me a lot of great things. I had my own MTV show. I had numerous magazine covers. I just had worldwide attention. I was known in 60 different countries as Cristy Code Red. I went to Beijing and they say Cristy Code Red and they wanted to touch my hair and they would just run up to me and be like, and it was just so much attention. So it was a lot of fun. It was hard to get out of boxing because I kept seeing my name up in lights and I liked that attention, but that's how you get killed fighting past your prime.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. Oh. That's very scary. And then you took up cycling and you said your health was deteriorating. Is there anything else you tried or like doctors you went to, other suggestions they had?
Yeah, I actually did. I went to a couple of doctors because my IBS was so bad and nobody ever talked to me about my diet ever. They just put me on medication. Scott, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the bull crap. The pill for every ill, the traditional medical paradigm has failed us. We all know this. And it failed me too. And I was put on Wellbutrin, which is an antidepressant. I wasn't depressed. I don't battle with depression. Nobody in my family battles with it. But my diet was bringing me down. I didn't feel good. So every doctor I went to, I went to my doctor for weight loss and they put me on phentermine pills. You guys know that phentermine pills is a derivative of methamphetamine. Like you'll lose weight, but you'll clean your whole house. But it caused a lot of terrible side effects. So every medical professional I went to did not know how to address my weight problem. They said I looked fine, that I was fine. I didn't have any family health problems. I felt like garbage. I was battling migraines, stomach aches, foggy brain, all that stuff that a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. When you get off the plan and you put crap in your mouth that doesn't belong there, I know how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. My wife suffered from a lot of Crohn's-like symptoms. She was even diagnosed with Crohn's at one point. And all these doctors she spoke with, she would always say like, yeah, do you think I should eliminate this from my diet? Or I made this dietary change and my symptoms seem to get a lot better. Do you think like that could help? And they'd be like, no, it has nothing to do with diet, really. It doesn't matter what you eat. Like that's not Crohn's. Like your digestive system. Come on, people. So yeah, it's crazy. But I'm curious, like the Code Red revolution, can you talk more about what it is, how it works, and elaborate more on what the success has been like?
Yeah,
today?
I wrote my book, The Code Red Revolution, and we call ourselves rebels because we rebel against what society has brainwashed us to believe. So the top 3 biggest lies in weight loss, the number 1, hands down, without a doubt, biggest lie is that you have to exercise to lose weight. And nothing can be further from the truth. Exercise has nothing to do with weight loss. I've had over 46,000 people come through my program and no exercise, people missing a leg, people being 75 years old and in a wheelchair, they're all losing weight. And people are like, oh, it's 80-20. I'm telling you right now, I can get all the weight off someone I want to get off someone without any extra. It's 100% in my book, and so number 2 lie is that you got to eat frequently in order to lose weight. That I know the law of thermodynamics. I understand the old school thinking. It is not true. It beats up our digestive system. It screws with your hormones. It's going to release insulin all day long. We know you can't lose weight in the presence of insulin. You got to let glucagon do its job. And the third one is you got to eat low fat. The top 3 biggest lies in weight loss have made us the sickest and the fattest in human history. So these are kind of the things that I base the Code Red lifestyle and the Code Red revolution around. We do it on real food, water, and sleep. And it ain't fancy. It ain't sexy, but it's got teeth. And I think the simplicity of the lifestyle, I don't do the shakes and the pills. I do offer the magnesium, which is a mineral, and the vitamin D, which is a hormone, and probiotic, but I don't require anybody to take it. I really strongly encourage, but we don't do the shakes and the pills. We teach people how to live their life. We teach people about 2 meals a day. We teach people about getting proper sleep and proper hydration and getting off the caramel macchiatos, the Red Bull and the Diet Coke and the wine. And let's start healing our bodies. And my people lose 10% of their body weight every month. I can get just as much weight off people as bariatric surgery. So it's really remarkable, but it's so simple that it's people like go, wait a minute, what? I mean, that's why I have this mohawk, Scott. I mean, it's a hook. The boxing career is a hook. It's just something to get people to stop and listen and say, wait a minute, what did she just say? Yeah, real food, water, and sleep. No, that ain't working. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, I love that because you're teaching the fundamentals, you're teaching the ABCs and sustainable things too. Like there are a lot of unhealthy ways you could lose 10% of your body weight per month, but you're focusing on habits, changes to lifestyle, things that'll make them healthier while they're losing weight. And like you say, you're so good at promoting it with the hook and the entertainment value that you can make these really basic things that people don't find sexy. Oh, get a couple hours more sleep. Like, you can't sell that in a potion or a powder to someone.
And I just recently went to a biohacking seminar and I looked around the room. There were about 36 of us in the room. And I looked around the room and everybody was there to learn about biohacking, heat reactive protein and red light therapy and ice baths. And they're all so good. But these guys aren't what we call nailing the basics. They're not even getting real food, water, and sleep. You can't biohack your way out of Carl's Jr. drive-through. So if you're not nailing the basics, ain't nothing else gonna work. And I think that's what a lot of people get hung up on. Like, I got to eat organic. You just need to quit eating Carl's Jr. Like, I don't care if it's really organic at this point. Like, you got to you got to go to bed, Karen. You got to quit scrolling through Instagram till 2:00 in the morning or binge watching Game of Thrones. They're not nailing the basics. And until you nail the basics, ain't nothing else going to work.
Yeah, it's about the big rocks. I love that. And how do you personally, Cristy, balance all your incredible athletic pursuits, business, family? How do you keep your head on straight?
Yeah, I have a great team. That is what we have 50 people that work for Code Red. And I have a great COO and a really great assistant. And until then, I had a hard time balancing. I don't even think I'm balanced now. I think I'm a little off my rocker. I think probably my husband would tell you that I don't spend enough time with him. So I have 5 areas of my life: my spirituality, this is not in the right order. My spirituality, my my marriage, my dogs, Code Red, and my health or something like that. I think those are my 5 areas. And if it doesn't fall into one of my 5 areas, then I say no to it. And people have a hard time saying no. They feel like they gotta bake a dozen cookies for their kindergarten class. Well, no, Karen, you don't have to do that. Like, you just gotta. And so if my 5 areas that I really pour my energy into, if they're good to go, and then somebody asks me to do something on top of that, and I've got the time and energy and resources and I'm not too tapped out, I will say yes. But I don't give a rat's fanny about saying no. I just flat out, and I'll have people at my house and I'll just get up and go to bed. Nothing comes in between me and my standards and my boundaries. Nothing does. I just don't really care. I am the most important person here. I got to take care of me. Ain't nobody taking care of me but me. And so that's kind of how I stay balanced. I'm very strict and rigid and militant about my boundaries.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's the ultimate form of self-respect too.
You said it.
Prioritizing yourself, not being afraid to speak up for yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of people have that mommy martyr attitude, like it's a badge of honor to stay up late and worry about your kids. First of all, Karen, your 15-year-old does not need to be out till 1 o'clock in the morning. That boy needs to be home. All right. You are not their friend. You are their parent. So any parents listening to me, lay down the law. That's bullcrap. You run this household. Okay. Number 2, my mind just went, mommy martyr. My mind, see, this is what happens when you have a fighting career. Your mind just leaves. My moms will think that it's okay to worry, and they'll lose sleep. And pretty soon they're fat, they're sick, they feel like crap, and they can barely get by during the day because they're always worried about their kids, and it's literally sucking the life out of them. So it's time to make some changes, guys.
A lot of people ask me about how to make liver more tasteful and how to cook it or incorporate other organ meats on carnivore. Optimal Carnivore can help you do just that with their grass-fed organ complex. It was created by carnivores for carnivores. They start by sourcing 100% grass-fed organ meats from New Zealand, gently freeze-drying the organs and encapsulating them into convenient bovine gelatin capsules. Just 6 of these capsules a day is the same as eating an ounce of raw organ meat. I personally take these every single day, as does my wife. Even though we both eat liver and other organ meats, our ancestors would have eaten the whole animal. And this unique blend has 9 different organs, including beef liver, brain, thymus, kidney, spleen, etc. And I think it's great to get a daily dose of these organs when you can. So it covers all your bases, whether you're at home or traveling. What's also cool is they plant a tree for every product sold, which helps the environment. So visit www.optimalcarnivore.com/carnivorecast and use the code carnivore10 to receive 10% off your purchase. Thanks, and back to the show.
And you keep bringing up Karen, so I'm going to ask a couple questions about Karen.
The Karens,
Poor Karen. So what are some other common misconceptions or like the biggest myths you feel like you have to break through for people, or barriers for people, or common questions they have? What are things that are really hurdles you see a lot?
I get a lot of questions about organic, and people say, and that's simply not a requirement on Code Red. We don't require people because we want to target all socioeconomic statuses, and it's just simply not possible for somebody on a fixed income sometimes to eat organic and grass finished and grown with the tears of the Tibetan monks. It's just not going to happen. I would rather them get any kind of meat, and then go through the drive-through of the Arby's. A lot of people, and I'm really starting to shift my messaging a little bit. I really try not to be openly against anything, but sometimes it sneaks in, but I'm openly against veganism. I just am. I just can't do it anymore. I can't be okay with it. And people say, can I be vegan and still do Code Red? You can. It's going to take that food list. It's going to shave it down to almost nothing, but you can't pick off the do not eat side. We have a do not eat side. We have an eat side. It's super simple. You can't pick off the do not eat side just because your eat side is dwindling down because you think that there's something wrong with eating chickens. And I just can't. But now I'm really coming out openly against veganism. We know it's unhealthy. We know people's health deteriorate. And sorry if I'm upsetting your audience at all. Guys, well, I don't think anybody here is really battling with that mindset.
Yeah.
I was vegan just to experiment from September 07 to September 08. I had a big fight at Madison Square Garden during that time. Now, I'm not telling you I lost that fight because I was vegan. I'd like to say that. I don't know. I will say that because I was vegan during that time, just as an experiment, I was so tired that I was falling asleep on my dressing room floor when they came to get me out of my dressing room to go fight this girl out of Philly. And I was just like, I was kind of like, I couldn't even hold my head up. I had no energy. I was just effed up. So I tell you, that whole vegan thing, I'm really starting to take a pretty hard stand against it. And I think people have the wrong idea about meat and fat. And so all of us collectively, you, me, Dr. Hyman, Dr. Berry, Dr. Fung, Thomas DeLauer, Paul Saladino, Sean Baker, all the big heavy hitters in the industry, we're all doing our part to try to change the mind of people away from that old school mentality that meat is bad. Those are a couple of things that kind of come to mind right off the bat that I'm kind of battling with.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think, Cristy, what's so great about your approach, and I'm hearing over and over again, is you like to remove things that make it harder for people. You get rid of the roadblocks, the excuses, my son has these foods, my son is keeping me up late. I can't do it because I can't buy organic. I don't have the budget. I can't do it because I don't have time to exercise. Like all these things, just make it simple. Like, cut that crap out, get those ideas out of your head and find the things you can do. And this is what you can do. And it's simple. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And I wrote a book called New Year's Resolutions Suck. And it's because for New Year's resolutions, people want to change everything. They've got 7 things. They want to quit smoking. They want to start CrossFit 5 days a week. They want to lose weight, and they want to improve their marriage, and they want to start going to church more. Well, it's impossible to do it all. And my target niche, 93% of our clients are women. That's probably why I got Karen nailed down. And we target women in their 50s and 60s. That's our target niche. We have more that are younger and older, but that's our target. When they come to us, they can barely keep their head above water. I cannot change everything, but what I can change is I can get them to start drinking more water, and I can get them to go to bed just a little bit earlier. And if I can just get those guys doing those 2 simple things, then that habit will stick for long term, because those are habits we need to have for the rest of our life. So I really try to stick with the basics. And I've just noticed just getting people on changing those basic things is saving people's lives. We're getting A1C down. We're getting fasting glucose down. We're losing weight. We're getting more metabolically healthy. I mean, my women don't care so much about cellulite. They care about the fact that they have migraine headaches they used to, and now on CodeRed, they don't. So I really try to just really keep it simple. And our certified coaches, I'm always saying, keep it simple, because people want to complicate things. What are my ketones? And what if can I have that? And I just go, no. I just need you to go to bed on time.
Yeah, I can't agree with that more. My mom was actually just visiting me this weekend, and she's in her late 60s, and she had listened to some interview or podcast on fasting. I won't say who it was with, but she was like, "Oh, I'm going to start doing this fast and this fast." And I was like, "Mom, if you just had like a little bit more protein in your day, like what's the minimum change you think you can commit to? Right. Have a protein shake. Like you have yogurt with granola in the morning. What if you had a little bit of protein powder in there to keep you a little bit more full? Or, you're having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch every day. What if you had it with like PB Fit powder instead of pure peanut butter? Just cut down the calories a little bit, get a little more protein, feel a little more full, feel more good. I'm trying to just find like the smallest possible change that can make her healthier. And someone might come in there and say, nope, throw it all out. Like you can't eat any of these refined foods. You're only eating, grass-fed, grass-finished beef and like eggs directly from the chicken and nothing else. And of course, she's not going to do that for a single day. She's not going to do that for a single meal. So exactly. You have to meet people where they're at. You have to meet people where they're at, and people want to really overcomplicate things, and they just, and it would be great if everybody would be on the carnivore, because that is what our ancestors did. That is a species specific diet. We all know this. Listening to us right now, we all know this. We're all nodding our heads. But taking somebody from the standard American diet all the way down to carnivore, it's what I believe. It's just not what I can get people to do right now. And now when we get to our maintenance program, that's where we really start to
deep dive and say, okay, now that you got this down, but baby steps, that way they don't get overwhelmed and they won't do anything if they have to do everything. And it's problematic for the average person that I come across, to get them to try to make all those changes. They just won't do it. And they do. They're like, well, I got to eat, like they're changing I got to eat organic granola. Okay. Well, wait a minute. That's still not going to stop your blood sugar from spiking through the roof faster than a Snickers bar. It's like, whoa. And they're well-meaning, highly intelligent people that just simply don't know the nature of the trap. They've been brainwashed to believe lies. They don't know what they don't know. Nobody means to poison their kids with goldfish crackers. Nobody means to, they just don't know. And so once they start to like listen to this podcast and once they start to hear, they're like, oh shoot, wow, there's a different way.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I mentioned in the intro, Cristy, that you've helped special forces, policemen, firemen, children. What is it like working with some of those populations, and maybe like how are the considerations different, or how is it harder or easier to work with them?
Yeah, my dad was a cop, and he was a California highway patrolman when we were growing, like the old 70s sitcom Chips. You're probably too young for that, Scott, but I'm a little older than you. So like, dun, 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 dun. Some of my people listening are laughing. So Ponch and John. Okay, that's it. And so my dad, I come from a military and a law enforcement family. So I have a soft spot for and I always say, if I ever sell Code Red, I'm going to go be a cop. It's like, really, Cristy, you're 45. You're not going to be, I play with my gun. I'm like, look, get on the ground. So I love military and I love police officers. And so I created a Code Red program called Code Red Protocol. And it's law enforcement for police officers and first responders and military. And they're a different breed. And with them, they are chronically dehydrated and chronically sleep deprived. And so we have to really, if we can just get those two in order, if we can get them sleeping, and then they go from sedentary, you go from 0 all the way to 100. They'll go from just sitting in their car, and then in a blink of an eye, they're chasing a bad guy with a knife. And so it's a whole different, same thing with our prison systems. I've worked with a couple of prison systems, and the life expectancy of a prison guard is 56 years. It's really short. Like, they are some unhealthy people in there. So it's not good. These people need our help, but chronically sleep deprived, chronically dehydrated. And I just really try to work with those two things. Then I have a Code Red Kids program, and it's really hard, Scott, to get into to spread my Code Red's kid program, because the schools are subsidized by the very companies I speak out against. Now, I'm a capitalist. I believe in the market being able to create a product, and we have the choice to buy it or not. But when our education system doesn't have enough money, unless they're getting money from Coke and Pepsi, they're giving away candy bars. They have, soda machines and juice machines. So these kids, parents are fighting an uphill battle. So my Code Red Kids program, it's not going very far, because I get pushback from the school system. So I love kids. In fact, we're having I don't know when this is going to come out, but we are having a Code Red Kids event in June in Boise. And it's just going to be where I can meet the kids and we have a Code Red Kids pledge, where they go, they have to be kind, and they have to be, they have to drink their water. We don't ever talk about weight with kids, but we talk about being healthy. So I think in my small way, I'm helping to shape the next generation of kids, because guys, our kids are the first generation that will not have a life expectancy longer than their parents. We don't have anybody to replace our military, first responders, our police force, because our kids are so sick and fat. I mean, pre-diabetes is running rampant in our kids. So we have to do something. So that's why I have Code Red Arise, which is a weight loss program for churches, because I know firsthand, being a preacher's kid, that church members are just overweight across the board. This is just not addressed in churches. And so we kind of allow it, like, Jesus loves all of us. So we just kind of say, it doesn't matter, but it does matter, So I try to spread the message in different areas, Code Red corporate, things like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I can hear the passion in your voice, Cristy. I'm curious, like what part of what you've done, all the things that have come behind you are you most proud of, or what legacy do you think you want to leave on the world, or how do you want it to be different when you're gone?
Well, if you see behind me, I have an award, and I'm pretty proud of that award. That is a $10 million award, which means that one area of Code Red has earned that kind of revenue. And so I hate to just go right to money. I mean, so my entrepreneurs, you guys listening, you'll be like, yeah, Cristy, you know, but other people might be like, she's selfish and money hungry. I'm super proud that CodeRed has grown so much in that area, and because we're able to reach the message of hope and healing. So I'm super proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I've written several books, and it's just an ongoing message. You know, I get a lot of hate mail, you know, and I get a lot of good mail. And so they just kind of balance each other out. And I love my CodeRed events because and I know that COVID really put the kibosh on that, but we are having another one coming up. So hopefully, because those relationships are important, and being able to hug somebody and have them look in my eyes and say, I was headed to bariatric surgery until I found CodeRed. I've lost 135 pounds. I've lost 69 pounds. Those are real special moments for me. The live events are really special. It's the connection that I miss. And it's the relationships that we hope to build. You know, I write several hundred custom programs for people every month, and I actually write them myself. And it always surprises people when they get a phone call from me. Not everybody, but if there's something confusing on their paperwork, I'm going to call them up and say, hey, Tammy, I don't understand what you mean by this. Tell me exactly what because I'm a little confused. Cristy Code Red, you're actually calling me. You're not just a number with us, even though there are tens of thousands of people who are rebels out there, and we don't want to make it ever just a cookie cutter program. And so the relationships, I really love. The in-person events, I really love. I'm super proud of the fact that there are pockets of CodeRed rebels meeting together all over the country without me. They get together, they have their little shirts on, their little CodeRed hats on, and they walk together, or they'll have coffee together. And that is really powerful, because that means the movement is going on without me needing to be there. And any entrepreneur knows that's what you want for your movement as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think everything you just said points to like the scale of impact you've had, and then the number of lives you've touched, whether it's the award, the $10 million award, or the events or anything. It's spreading, which is really meaningful, because it means it's having a significant change for each individual, and it's changing a lot of people's lives, which is great.
And Scott, I never really even started making a difference in the world until I was 40. I really didn't. And I know that, okay, like I'm a good daughter. I'm a good auntie, like whatever. Like I know I've spread love and whatever, like, you know, I'm a good wife, but truly like living to my calling, doing what I was created for every day of my life. No, not until 5 years ago, not until I really understood how to spread my message. I didn't know until I got a business coach that helped me do that. But so anybody listening, that you have a voice, you have something that you need to say, even if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're taking care of your 2 and your 4-year-old all day long, you still creating content to the 2 and your 4-year-old. You're still doing sales. You're selling peas and carrots to your 2 and 4-year-old. So don't think that just because you don't have a purple mohawk, that you're not cool, because the world needs you to show up. And you can only show up as your best self when you are taking care of yourself, because nobody wants to get up and sell their Mary Kay makeup when they got migraine headaches. So number one, above all else, you have got to get up and take care of you. Get up, get a bra on, get dressed, drink your water, get on that scale, make sure that you're monitoring your weight, that you're taking care of your health, and show up in the best health you can, because ain't nobody taking care of you but you, and the world needs you.
Yeah, spot on. And Cristy, I'm curious, you seem to be performing so well, feeling healthy, feeling vibrant, making all this change. Like, what are some of the things, like, what do you eat in a day? What are some of the habits that really keep you like pounding away each day and coming back at it and being your full self?
I have a real strict schedule that I adhere to. I get up at 5. I love early mornings. If anybody watches my Instagram, you know, I'm up there. I'm up there with my dogs on the hill. I'm up running or something. So I do try to go to CrossFit as many days of the week. Like tomorrow, at the time of this recording, I'm heading to Salt Lake for 5 days. So I think I'm actually going to hit a CrossFit class in Salt Lake. I was researching like, I think just a few minutes away. So I really try not to miss. I'm getting older now, Scott. And I noticed that I just had my body fat percentage tested and I have 118 pounds of muscle on me. And I really want to retain that muscle. And so I got to keep my weightlifting up. So I get up, I make sure that I either run or both, run and do my weightlifting. I always get started on my water right away after I check my weight. We monitor our weight as Code Red Rebels. I drink 160 ounces of water a day. And I eat carnivore. And people, in fact, right before this podcast, I had 3 grass-fed, grass-finished patties, just ate them right off the plate. I don't
Delicious.
have this need for fancy food. I don't have this need for really, I can, and I shouldn't. Chris Gethin, my buddy Chris Gethin always says, Cristy, stop eating so fast. I stand over the sink and I don't even need a plate. I'll just eat it with my freaking hands. Like, I don't even care. But I don't need fancy food. I just need food that's gonna heal me and give me the best possible energy to get through what I need to get through. And I know I feel like crap if I go off the rails and I have robin eggs because they were 75% off. I don't perform well. I feel like crap. I'm crabby to my husband, that kind of stuff. So I adhere to a strict schedule as far as the filming, videos, creating content, doing my Code Red work. I take the dogs for a walk. I have 2 of them now. One of them's a puppy. The thing is about wearing me out. I'm so glad I never had kids. I never would have been able to keep up. And so I'm very strict with my bedtime. I wear my blue light blocking glasses 2 hours before bed. I have a very strict bedtime routine. I take CBD oil. I put it under my tongue and I take a hot bath and I read a book at night. So I'm really very regimented. And and people always say, well, what do you need to feel rejuvenated? Sometimes when I need to feel rejuvenated, I'll escape to this spa down in Tucson that I love and I work out. But anytime I need to take a break, I'll do a workout. That's kind of my idea of taking a break. I might just step away and try to breathe because I got a lot of things. I mean, 50 employees is a lot of drama and that's a lot of crap going on, and just trying to grow and stuff. And so you got to take care of yourself. I can feel when I'm not, and everything goes downhill from there. So if any of you guys are entrepreneurs or your parents or you're just working at a regular job, you got to, I know it's a broken record, but if you don't take care of yourself, you will not level up all those areas of your life. You will not, you'll just be going through the motions. And who wants to live like that?
Yeah, I love that message. I think I could scream that from the rooftops all day, but it's great hearing it from you because it has so much more weight to it. Cristy, this has been fantastic. Really appreciate you coming on the show. I think listeners will love this, and hopefully they've gotten a taste of your personality and your knowledge and your awesome content. Where can they check you out? And I'll of course have links to everything in the show notes.
You can always, I'm everywhere at Cristy Code Red, Cristy at Cristy Code Red. Please just hop on. I'm on Instagram. I answer all my own DMs. I'm very hands-on. And if you ever wanted to kind of explore the Code Red lifestyle, we're always doing these monthly challenges at 10poundtakedown.com.
Awesome. I'll link to all of that. And thanks again for your time, Cristy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott.
If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the Carnivore Cast on Patreon. By becoming a patron, you'll help us reach more people and continue to create content on Carnivore. There are also exclusive perks available, such as private Q&As, consultations with me, and more. Become a supporter at patreon.com/carnivorecast. Check the episode description for the link. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Carnivore Cast. If you enjoyed this episode, please review on iTunes. It really helps us out. And share it with a friend. What questions would you like answered, or who would you like to hear from in the carnivore research community? You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at CarnivoreCast, or go to carnivorecast.com. You can also email me at info@carnivorecast.com. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep it carnivore.